This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Caddles.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that that Demario Douglas play I put on him. If that is Steph Diggs, is that Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola? How many tough receivers have we seen here where they know the game awareness, that they understand where they are in the field, what they have to do? And, you know, if that's Steph Diggs, I'm pretty sure he just catches it and, like, you know, shoots forward and picks it up. Demario Douglas didn't do that. I wonder if we could see a situation where Douglas is either down or reduced role, and we do see Efton Chisholm for a while. Not that I think he's any sort of solution, but, you know, I could make the argument that if Efton Chisholm is there, he's built a little bit lower to the ground, a little bit heavier. You know, he makes that play. But I put that on Douglas. I mean, I would like to see May get rid of the ball a tad bit quicker, you know, with his motion. But Douglas, you know, has to know where he is on the field, has to know the situation. He shouldn't need Drake May to tell him what the situation is. And they just had a timeout. They're standing there. You can look at the scoreboard. No, if I catch the ball, I am leaping forward. I'm not going backwards, and I am picking it up.
And again, it's, you know, it's all, you can't put, the players have to know some of this stuff naturally. Drake May is saying, I should have told him. It's lack of situational awareness and football preparedness, which goes back to the thing that you said at the top of the show about Mike Vrabel and the type of football this team is playing. And again, if things don't go well for Mike Vrabel, that whole take advantage of bad football quote that he gave at the beginning of his tenure here is the thing that everyone's going to look at. They're just playing overall bad football right now, which if you didn't know better, I don't know that you would know at times that there's a completely new regime in charge of things versus what we saw last year.
Yeah, like I said at the top, that's the thing that has surprised me the most. I thought, you know, maybe they're not the most talented team, but they wouldn't beat themselves. They'd make the other team have to beat them. Yeah, and that's just through 3 games. That's not the way it is. A couple other things, John, I wanted to mention. You know, I did think that they made some good adjustments as far as the run game. They were getting gashed early on. It looks like they went to more 5-man line. They probably, I'll have to look back, or probably Taylor, who's coming up next, probably kept track of this or whatever. But it looked like they dropped, you know, an extra guy into the box. They played Duggar a lot more. They changed out. They took Christian Ellis out for Gibbons and Mapu. They benched Alex Austin for whatever that guy's name, Charles Day, whatever his name is. And also, you know, something that is going to be interesting watching the film, I did not like their plan for TJ Watt in this game. There was too much Morgan Moses by himself. I did not think the offensive line was that good in this game. I just looked at PFF's initial numbers. They had Will Campbell for 7 pressures allowed in this game. It looked like he had a very rough game. Jared Wilson had some rough ones. Micah Wenu whiffed on another run block, like, you know, up the middle. There's a lot of stuff to clean up. I'm surprised. I mean, it is 3 games in. I usually go by 4 games and then 8 games, but a lot of work to do for this team to clean up.
Yeah, you do have to give hats off to the defense, though.
Yeah,
on the whole, especially after last week, because they were atrocious last week, and certainly we're gonna beat him up last week. You got to give him his props today. Spillane had a good bounce back game.
He was awesome. By the way, we need to mention that he had 15 tackles, 10 solo, and the interception that Rodgers threw right to him. I mean, it was a huge bounce back game for Spillane.
Yeah. So that was good. Landry might be one of the great reclamation project and turnaround stories of the offseason here. So again, credit where it's due. A couple of the guys that they have brought in, especially with Spillane playing well today, great. Milton Williams, obviously, we've seen what he's been doing. So some things that would lead you to believe that that all is not lost. But again, I just think you're going to be one step forward, one step back with this team all year long until they can start to play cleaner football. They're just not good enough to do what they did today.
John, they need to stop playing like jackasses. All right. They do that, they might start winning some games. All right. Let's call it what it is. Like, they played like jackasses way too often. And you did not think that was going to be the case this year.